Hey guys, it's Fusion here with the YouTube video. I know these don't come out very often, but I had to make one for this because it is the first major in 2 years, and I'm super excited. I'm fucking gonna wake up at 4 a.m. on Tuesday. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fuck up my sleep schedule. I'm gonna fucking try to go to sleep at like 9 p.m. to wake up at 4 to watch the major, because it starts on Tuesday, which is when I have work at like 7. Well, work starts at like 9, but like that's besides the point. So I had to make this video to do my pick-ems, because let's see, I might even do some case openings. Don't really know, because honestly, now granted, for these, if I do like sticker case openers, like some sticker openers, I might buy like 5 of these and 10 of these or something, because obviously I want EG stickers. And out of these stickers, like Spirit's pretty dope. Like I'd like a Spirit sticker, so if I get a Spirit sticker, that'd be pretty sick. But so maybe we'll do those. We'll see. If you guys want it, then I'll deliver. I guess I'll do like, I don't know, do like 10, 5, 5 or something. I don't know. We can figure it out. Let me know what you want me to do, and I'll try to do it. But the point of the video today, pick-ems. Now I know what you're saying, Ricky. You've already done your pick-ems. Why the fuck are you here? And my answer to that would be because this is what I originally had, but I'm going to change it a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And I kind of want to run through my whole process from start to finish. So I'm probably going to take these down, and then kind of like what I can do, I think, is I can, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just basically just going to like take each one of these down once I explain why I'm putting them where I'm putting them, right? Or why I put them where I put them at first, right? And obviously, as a little caveat, for context, I am a noob at this. I don't really do pick-ems very often because I never wanted to spend the money because I didn't have a job at the time. And basically, I didn't realize, but like putting Astralis 3-0 is actually a terrible idea because you don't actually want to put a team in the 3-0 spot that's going to go 3-0. And the reason for that is because then, if they don't go 3-0, let's say Astralis goes 3-1, but they still make it to the next stage, I don't get credit for it because I put them in the 3-0 category instead of the remaining 7 teams that will advance category. So it's actually better to put a team that you think is kind of a gamble to make it into the next stage. You almost want them to be the team that goes here, because if you're right, that's incredible, right? But if not, it's not that big of a deal. And if you put them, and if they don't make it through, right? Because it's a gamble pick, and if they don't go through, they're not in your 7. Even though they were in your top 8 teams to advance, they weren't in this little section, so it doesn't hurt you for putting them there, right? So you really want to put teams down below that are going to guaranteed get into the next stage. So this is obviously going to change, and it's actually the big change. It's part of the big change that I'm going to make. Big change. It's not really that big of a change. This list is pretty much, for the most part, like what I'm going to do, right? But I'm going to explain everything. So obviously, I think Astralis is going to go 3-0. Now, I'm not going to put them in the 3-0 category, like I said, because that doesn't benefit me, right? Because I can get guaranteed points for putting them down here, whereas if they go 3-1, I don't get any credit for anything. So I'm going to put them obviously down below. But obviously, my reasoning for putting Astralis here is pretty obvious. They have 4 of the 5 players from the old roster, and I understand that they're missing their star player in Device. But I think the system of this team is just way too fucking strong, to fall out here. There's no way that they don't make it through this stage. It's impossible in my book. I mean, I don't see a way where this team doesn't make it. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but maybe they're not as focused after all these players are leaving. But like, as we know from previous tournament results, there's a lot of times where teams like a Cloud9 at their major, when they won the major, I mean, everybody knew that Cloud9 roster was going to break up, and they ended up performing at their best. So I think that Astralis, if there's any team that's going to make it, especially at a major, at a LAN, like if this is the last dance for them, like I don't see them not getting through this stage. It's just That's just how it is. I think they're pretty much an insta lock to get through the next stage. Tyloo I put as my 0-3 because I haven't really seen much, but I think they barely got out of their regional qualifier, and you know, also they used to be a team that creates some like cool upsets, but like obviously the NA scene's gotten wrecked. But like, you know how like with the North American scene, they weren't able to scrim with other European teams, all that much, and it really hurt them. And I think Tyloo's almost similar in a way. I don't think they were really getting that great scrims going. I didn't really see them in many tournaments. Maybe they were in some regional tournaments, but that's pretty much it. I don't really know what these guys have been doing this whole time, and honestly, they didn't even look that good in the qualifier. So I just don't expect them to get any maps here. I expect them to get 0-3'd. So yeah, I think the only other team that I would have considered for this spot is probably Sharks. But I think Sharks have a better chance than Tyloo to potentially pick up a map somewhere. So now we're going to move into these, and so my insta locks are pretty much Heroic because they're just way too good of a team to not make it through the stage. In fact, I think that the team, instead of Astralis, what I should have done if I actually was putting the team to go 3-0, I should have put Heroic, because Heroic is just too good of a team. They work too well together. Their players, the roles fit. This team has been performing so well for so long. And I know it's been online era, but I just don't. The system they have right now is just so strong, and I think they're probably the most. You could probably argue they're the most complete team in the stage. Astralis, they literally are just getting Glaive back now, and he just came from watching his child be born. So like his head's in different places, right? I think that they haven't been, while it is Astralis, Heroic have been playing together for a while now, and I just think that they probably have they're the most concrete, easy to pick team in this entire stage. They've been the most consistent, and they've been in arguably more turmoil in situations where they probably shouldn't have been consistent, and yet they've looked good. They've had their ups and downs, but overall they've looked really good. So I think they're pretty much an insta lock for this, and they would be probably my team to put 3-0 if I had to actually put a legitimate 3-0 team. Next, Virtus Pro. I think Virtus Pro is pretty self-explanatory, in the sense that I think Yekindar is just going to dominate most of these teams. When you look at teams that just don't have the talent to stop him. And I think once Yekindar is getting on a roll, it's almost impossible to stop. And when Yekindar is on fire, VP's at its best, and VP at its best is terrifying to play against. So I think that's also a pretty safe pick. They're probably going to get out of this group. Even if it takes them to the very, very end, I think they'll definitely make it out of the group. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Instead of just doing it like this, I think I'm actually just going to reset it. And you'll see the change when I do it, and I'll kind of go back and show you what change I made. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of all of these. I'm just going to get rid of all of these, and I'll put in. So I'll put in Tyloo here. I'll put in Heroic, and I'll put in Virtus Pro, right? So next up, the next insta-lock team that I'm going to put, the next most likely team to get through, is probably... Oh, and Astralis. I didn't put Astralis in here. Probably going to be either Ents, or... I would argue like Ents or maybe FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan's tough because they're up and down. They're very streaky. They've been underwhelming, to be honest. They've been underwhelming. But I think this team, I think FaZe in particular, look, they've been talking a lot of, talking that talk about how LAN's important, and they've honestly been overblowing it a bit, where they're saying basically their roster just can't do anything online, but the second they get to LAN, they're going to be the best team in the world. Take from that what you may, but they did show up at Cologne. They did show up at Cologne. They performed very well, above expectations. They were a dark horse, and they had an amazing run. They had an amazing run. And I think, while I don't know if you're going to see that same level of FaZe, I think you'll definitely get a FaZe that should not go out during this stage. So I'm gonna put FaZe in here because I do think they're gonna get through. But I think it could be close. I think they could definitely go down 0-1 or 0-2 in the group, and it could look really bad. FaZe has not exactly been performing up to par recently, but I think I'm gonna put ENCE as my like next team that I think is just kind of a lock, to be honest. They've looked so good recently. And I think ENCE is a team that has just got enough talent to just carry them to the next stage. Diha and Doho is a little iffy sometimes, but Diha's nuts. I love watching Diha play. Hades has potential. I don't really know how good he actually is, but I know Diha has definitely impressed me. Snappy's impressed me with his in-game leading. He's done a really good job with these guys, and it's probably because these players don't really have they're not tainted, I guess, by being a professional player for super long, right? But I think Snappy's done a great job. They look like they really enjoy playing together, and they looked really, really solid during IEM Fall in terms of just their cohesiveness as a team, and so that was really, really cool to watch. So I think ENCE are definitely going to make it to the next stage. By the way, it is like 3:19 right now, so it's pretty early in the morning. But I had to get this video out, and I wanted to do it tonight. So here we are. Anyways, next team. Probably going to be Big. Big have been solid. They've just been really good. They didn't make a huge splash at IEM Fall, but I think it's because they were in they already had the major spot, so I don't think they cared too much. Plus, Tabson is a Lanimal. Dude is an absolute beast. Even if you might have questions about some of the other players on the team in terms of how they're going to play at LAN, I think Big is they're just too good of a team right now, I think, to fall at this particular stage, especially with just knowing Tabson's going to pop off. They have a lot of talent on their team with Searson as well. Searson could definitely just pop the fuck off and just dominate. I really Tizian's a great support player. I don't know. I think this team is really strong. They've looked good. They've looked solid. So I think they're definitely going to. I have more faith in Big than I have faith in a lot of these other teams that I haven't selected. And the last team that I'm going to put here is going to be Mouse Sports, because Rops is an absolute god, and he's going to carry this team through the stage. I think, obviously. I don't know about the next stage. I don't think they do anything that crazy in the next stage, unless they play Evil Geniuses, in which case that's the freest win of their lives. And this is coming from an Evil Geniuses fan, by the way. It hurts my soul to say it's true. But Mouse Sports, Rops is just nuts. I think they have the talent to just individually outfrag the other teams. And I think Dexter's done an okay job with them. He's done a decent job, I'd say. And I think this team is just... I think just Rops in general just makes it to the next stage. He's just been so good, so consistently good. It's been incredible to watch, and I think him alone is just the difference maker that's going to send them to the next stage. So that leaves my final pick for what the hell am I switching up, right? Because you already know that I had Godsent down here. I had Godsent as one of the teams that was going to advance. I'm going to switch that up, actually. I'm going to put Spirit. And I'm going to put Spirit because although they have performed, actually so bad recently, so bad, they lost to teams they shouldn't lose to, they just have so much talent. And when I was thinking about Godsent versus Spirit, and I was thinking which team would win that series, right? Let's say it's a 3. Let's say both teams are 2-2, right? Whoever wins goes to the next stage. Whoever loses is out, right? And if the game was Spirit versus Godsent, you'd have to argue, even if Godsent looks like a better team at times, I think you almost just want to bank on the fact that the talent on Spirit is just gonna win them the game, right? This is a team where, and especially in best of ones, in a lot of best of ones, you get a lot of upsets, right? And I think Spirit, although they've been performing quite poorly, the kind of team that's going to give you an upset is the team where you're just gonna like play. You're gonna go into a game against them, and in a best of one, all of a sudden they just pop off, and all their players are hitting their shots. And I think if there's any team that has the best opportunity of that happening, it's a team that has as much talent as Spirit does. Spirit earlier this year were a super strong team, and I think they have the talent to be there again. They could be a dark horse to make not a super deep run, but to do even some damage in the next stage if they're playing well enough. So I think Spirit is like really good dark horse pick. Who knows? Maybe their talent just goes off the fucking charts during this stage and they go 3-0. In which case, there you go. I won't be upset about that. But also, there's a chance they just bomb out and they play as poorly as they have been before, and things don't go their way. In which case, I'm not going to get penalized for it because I've already got these teams locked in down here. So even if I don't get this prediction right, it's really hard to get this 3-0 prediction right. There are so many teams that you would think, oh, this is obviously going to be a 3-0 for them, and they don't get the 3-0. They get like a 3-1 or a 3-2. So I think I don't mind having Spirit here because I think they do, in a weird way, have the potential to go 3-0 depending on their matchups that they get, because the CIS region is just so strong. And I think the talent level on this team, on the Spirit team, is so good. They have the opportunity to do it, but it just comes down to whether or not they're hitting their shots and whether or not they're playing well enough. So I think this is what I'm going to go with. This is going to be my final Pick-ems lock. This is what it's going to be. So I've got Spirit going 3-0 as the gamble pick. I've got Tyloo going 0-3 because I just don't think they're good enough. I have Heroic as a lock, easy lock. Virtus Pro, pretty easy lock. Astralis, super easy lock. Ents, I think, is pretty much guaranteed. Big, I think, is pretty much guaranteed. The only two that you could kind of go back and forth between is probably FaZe and Mouse Sports because, sorry, I want to move these around. I want to organize this a little bit here. So Big, Mouse Sports. Yeah, I'd probably put Mouse Sports here, FaZe here. Probably do something like Astralis and then Virtus Pro Ents, Virtus Pro and then Ents. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I think the two gambles here would be FaZe and Mouse Sports. I think obviously there's an opportunity for FaZe to just absolutely collapse. We've seen it before. They have their moments where they just don't play well at all. And that could definitely happen here. So FaZe has a chance to bomb out. Mouse Sports obviously has a chance to fall out. Not really because Rops doesn't play well. It's more of just, can the other parts of the team step up to meet with Rops and help them get it over the finish line? It can't just be Rops. It does look like sometimes that he can just win a game for you, but he needs the support to win three best of ones, and if they get to the end and it ends up being a decider game, it's going to be a best of three, in which case he's really going to need his teammates to step up to win the series. So I think this is a pretty fair assessment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section as to what you would change, what you think, if you think it's a good list, if you want me to delve into further detail about something that I've picked. But I think we've got a pretty solid list here. I think I'm going to do pretty well during this pick'em stage. I'm feeling pretty confident. I think the only other teams that are going to get the teams that I think are just no chance at all are probably Sharks and Renegades. Besides Tyloo, I think Sharks and Renegades are probably not going to get anywhere near. The 3-0 or the 3 or not 3-0, but like 3-1, 3-2, whatever. I don't think they'll win their three. I don't think they'll win any games, to be honest. I don't think any of these three teams are going to win any games. If they do, it'll be one, but that's it. And then I think when you look at the teams that have the potential to get like maybe a map or maybe one game, maybe two, but they probably aren't going to make it any farther, is probably then like Copenhagen Flames and Pain Gaming. And then I think the other two teams, obviously, that I think could actually make some upsets and actually go 3-2 and make it through over teams like FaZe and Mouse Sports would probably be Godsent and Entropic. I think those are the two next best teams right below FaZe and Mouse Sports. I think I would pick Godsent or Entropic. Entropic in particular is a really, really good team, and I think they could definitely deal some damage in this stage. So that'll be pretty interesting to look forward to. I think this stage is actually going to be super fun to watch, so hopefully I'll get to watch as many games as I can. I recommend that you do as well. This major is going to be absolutely sick, and I can't wait for it to start on Tuesday. I know it's going to be so fucking hype. I can't wait. I'm so stoked. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say. But honestly, I think that's it. So these are my pick'ems for this stage. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know if you also would like to see me do any type of like case openings or whatever. Or not case openings, but sticker capsule openings, because I've been thinking about doing that as well. Or maybe I can do like a stream for it or something. Just let me know, and I'll probably think about it. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, major comes up in like 2-3 days. Get hyped, everybody.